Desmond Chu.
Question 19, please.
Mr. Speaker, buy now, pay later or BNPL transactions have constituted a very small fraction of total consumer payments to date. Last year, BNPL transactions amounted to around $440 million, which is less than 0.5% of the $103 billion in credit and debit card payments. Now, BNPL schemes offered in Singapore currently do not pose significant risks of consumer indebtedness. Some common features of BNPL schemes limit the extent of debt accumulation by consumers. For example, BNPL providers typically suspend users from making further BNPL purchases once a payment is overdue. BNPL schemes also do not charge compounding interest on the outstanding amount and cap the amount of late fees levied. Now, the risk of rapid debt accumulation by consumers through BNPL schemes is hence not large. But all BNPL providers in Singapore have also set a minimum account opening age requirement of at least 18 years old. In fact, those who are 25 years old or older account for more than 85% of BNPL users here and more than 90% of total BNPL transaction values. MAS is nonetheless closely monitoring the BNPL sector, as such borrowings have the potential to grow rapidly. We are studying the experience of other countries where BNPL schemes have taken off more strongly. For now, MAS has assessed that effective industry self-regulation through an industry code should adequately mitigate the risks in the BNPL sector. Under MAS's guidance, the Singapore FinTech Association has launched a BNPL working group to develop a code of conduct for all BNPL providers. Now, this code, which we expect will be launched in the second half of this year, will seek to mitigate the risk of consumer over-indebtedness and establish minimum safeguards to ensure that consumer interests are well protected while using BNPL schemes. MAS will continue to guide the progress of the BNPL working group and monitor developments in this space.
Mr. Desmond Chu.
Mr. Speaker, I have two supplementary questions for the MOS. BNPL are essentially unsecured loans. The lender can purchase across multiple shopping sites and use multiple BNPL facilities provided by different providers. Should there be a limit to how much a person can utilize such facilities? Now, BNPL also has the propensity to encourage spending beyond one's means, especially because BNPL payments are charged to a buyer's credit card, so there is double leverage. Now, can MAS consider making credit worthiness checks on BNPLs as what he has been doing for credit cards? Thank you.
Thank the member for his SQ. Now, MAS agrees with the risks highlighted by the member, and as I had mentioned earlier in my response, the BNPL's Code of Conduct will seek to enshrine unique features of BNPL schemes which exist today to limit the extent of debt accumulation by users. In addition, we also expect the Code of Conduct to incorporate minimum safeguards for BNPL providers to limit financial imprudence amongst individuals and also to mitigate risks of consumer over-indebtedness. MAS is monitoring the progress of the BNPL Code and will continue to guide its development, especially on areas where MAS has baseline expectations that need to be met within the code. At this point of time, I want to quickly just share on what consumers may do while we are still working with the SFA on this code. So, as with undertaking any financing of any form, consumers should first consider and prioritize their needs over wants when deciding to make a purchase. BNPL schemes and installment plans should not be used as a way to buy items that are more expensive than what consumers can afford and do not need. By overstretching finances this way, consumers compromise on their financial goals. So, consumers should read and understand the terms of any financing schemes, including BNPL schemes, which are fast gaining popularity. before signing up for any of these schemes. In particular, they should be aware of any fees and charges, such as late fees, which are imposed on missed or partial payments. Consumers need to be sure they are able to make payments fully and promptly and factor in whether they can bear the consequences of failing to do so. Thank you.
Mr. Melvin Yong.
I thank the MOS for his reply. I have one supplementary question. The Consumer Association is concerned with the risk posed by this buy now, pay later scheme, especially when the consumer is unable to service the payment installments. So while I can understand that the government needs time to study the evolving buy now, pay later landscape and consider its regulatory approach, I would like to ask, will the MES consider including advertising curbs in the proposed code that is studying right now, similar to that is imposed on cryptocurrency? This is so to prevent buy now, pay later schemes from preying on impressionable youths.
Thank the member for his question. I think it's a very important point. And I also encourage the member and CASE also to work together with the Singapore FinTech Association in the working group to explore some of the suggestions that he has made. Thank you.